In this video, I'm going to be showing you how I create simple, easy social media content from taking a simple iPhone photo that looks like this and turning it into something that looks more like this. So what tools would you need? Personally, I use Canva for most of my content creation and graphic related design work, especially for social media. I know there are a ton of apps and softwares out there, but Canva is the one that I've used over the years. There's just a lot to choose from. There's, it's a graphic design platform that you can use to create social media graphics, presentation, posters, documents, and other visual content. So it's powerful. Like you can really do so much with it. So that's like my chosen platform. So I'm gonna show you exactly how I create this kind of designs. So the first thing is I just go to create design. Which I already did here. My internet is a little lagging, so I just decided to open the pages before. So what I do next is import the images that I'm gonna need to work on. Some of the images I already have imported, but I want to show you all the files that I have here. So I just go on and select the image that I want to edit. So wait for that to load. So once that's done, I think this is loaded. I've had that there. So since this is for Instagram, the dimension right here is 1 by 1. So I just tried to drag the image. I took this photo on my iPhone using the Instagram story, actually, not the camera. So I'm gonna try to like fit that right there in the center and just make sure it's okay. I need to move it a little bit. Okay, so there we go. So quick tip: when you're taking this photo, you want to make sure you have a decent amount of light. Because here I turned on a little bit of my reflection light just so it can give it a little highlight on the image. You don't want to have too much shadow. You don't want it to be in the dark. You want it to be properly lit. So the next thing you're going to do is just click on the image and go to the effect button. So what you want to do is you want to take out the background. And this is why it's important to have good lighting, because if you don't, you would have a problem taking this background off, especially in an automatic way like Canva. Of course, if you want to take your time and edit manually, by all means. But this is one of the reasons why I like to use Canva, because it's just quick and easy, and then I can work with that. So here I'm just going to click on the remove background and wait for that to be edited. So you can create as much workflow as you're going here. So you can duplicate pages and work on so many things while you're waiting for this to be edited. So here is the finished edit. So now we've taken out the background. So the next thing I do is I go to Pinterest. Which is a good place that I also find a lot of backgrounds. So this is one of those kind of backgrounds, but this wasn't the exact one that I used. This is a very good example of the kind of backgrounds you can find on Pinterest. I love Pinterest for references like this and just finding cool backgrounds that I can use for creating content or editing. So I'm gonna go back and try to search. Let me just say, so we're looking for something water related. So you can type this here. Aesthetic water is something I just search and just try to see what comes up. So you see the first image here was the one that I used for the design that I created. Some of this sources, it's okay to use these images as long as you're not, you're not reproducing it, and you're also giving credits where it's due. So that's very important. That's something to keep in mind. So you can explore a little more options, but when you decide on the image you want to use, you can go ahead and save it. I already have this saved on my desktop, so I'm just going to go back to Canva. But I realized the first thing I was supposed to do here was actually work on the image, on the background. So I'm going to start all over again with this design. It's going to be really quick. So the first thing is you want to select the background and center that to fit properly on the page. You might want to move it around a little bit just so it's evenly and nicely centered. So the next thing you want to do is select the image that you are going to be placing on the background. So like this was the first image I showed you. So this is just the different workflow, the background first, and then the asset on the background. So same workflow. I'm going to go back here to effect and make sure you're selecting the product so you can go back here and remove the background. So we're going to wait for that to finish editing. But something to keep in mind here when you're working on this kind of design is try to match your product with your background. Like try to make the colors as believable as possible. I mean, you can tell this is not the real background, but there's still something believable about it just because the colors are, they look similar. So I can actually see this image to be real. So yeah, it's just it's like an optical illusion of like creating two different products, but like bringing it together in a way that they can coexist. So I'm just gonna resize that. Let me try and move the background a little bit higher, just so the product is like in the water. Okay, so let's go back to the product and drag that somewhere here. So there we have that. So that is the image. It looks pretty good. I'm happy with it. It's quick. It's fast. It's, comparing this to the previous image I showed you from my iPhone. If you're posting something on Instagram, this is going to get more attention. I mean, at a first glance, it's easier to have something, it's better to have something like this, which is kind of interesting and will get people curious, like, oh, what is that? Let me click on it and see what that ad or that product is all about. So it's a better way of presenting your product versus just having it on a blank white or whatever background. So the next thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and download this image, and I'm going to save it as a PNG file. I don't want it to be transparent. It's just one page. So I'm just going to select page one. I'm going to save that and I'm going to download. I'm going to show you what the next part is, how we're going to animate it to make it look like it's moving. So the next part of this workflow is going to be on my iPad, which is where I'm going to be doing this step. You can also do this on your iPhone or an Android. I'm sure you can download InShot on the app on your phone. That's the name of the app, by the way, InShot. That's where right here, that's what I'm going to be using for the next step of this workflow. So what I'm going to do is, I know we're working on a photo, but you're going to create a video because you want to save the final asset as a video. So you select video. So when you select video, you can go to photos and you can select the photo that we just downloaded. I believe it's here. So let's get that and download and save that image right there. So we're going to go back to the canvas and select one by one Instagram dimensions, since that's what we want to use it for. And as you can see right here, it's in video format, but it's plain, but you don't see anything. So right now we're going to add the effect on the photo. So it depends on how long you want to make the video to play. So right now I've set this at 5 seconds, which is fine because I don't want it to play for too long. So the next step is you're going to go to filter, which is where you're going to select effect. And the effects that I'm using is a distortion. So you see like a few distorted effects here, but the one I used is the wave. And then you can play around different ones, but I like the wave better because I think it's a little more believable. So I'm gonna select the wave and I'm gonna reduce the value just so it's not too intense. So right there, you can see it moving, and it gives like an illusion of water, of movement, while it's still, still. And what you're going to do is you want to adjust the effect. You want to adjust the effect up until the end of the video, just so it plays through. And you can also increase that to like 10 seconds. I think that's the maximum you can save there. And then you're going to go back to the effect and then um, stretch that to 10 seconds as well. Come on. Come on. Yes, you can also do that just to the end of the video. There we go. And then you save that. So when I play that, this is what you see, which is exactly the kind of look I was going for. It's two still images and just bringing it together to make it look more interesting and more engaging. You can still see the product, you can still see all the details, but it's a little more interesting. And I think this is what is missing on social media. And I think this is where a lot of people need to do more because there's just so much content out there. And it's important to just keep thinking about what ways you can stand out, that you can make your content stand out without doing too much and without spending a lot of money or too much time, or just being creative and finding creative ways to reuse some of your old content. So we're going to go ahead and save this video. That's fine. So it's actually a little large right now, and you can use it as it is. And you can also download an app that I use. It's called Image, MIG, and that's that. And here I can select the if I want to convert any image into a GIF, for example. So I can go back to the video that we just created, and I can select that. And when I select that, you can see it's going to play as a video, but then I can go ahead and save it as a GIF, just so it just loops, and it doesn't it's not too large, it's not too, it doesn't take too much space. It just keeps looping just to give that continuous effect. So I'm gonna go ahead and save that and save it as a GIF instead of saving it as a video. You can save it as a video as well, it's fine, but it all depends on how you want to use it. I believe a GIF always, like, say it just saves so much space because the video we saved was like 18.5 megabyte. But when you convert this into a GIF, it's probably going to be nothing. So I'm gonna select GIF right there, and I want the quality to be high, and I want the looping to just loop infinity. So it's not going to stop looping. You can set it to stop looping, but for this particular design asset, I don't think you really need to set it. So you can leave it to loop continuously. So I'm just gonna go ahead and save that, and there we have it. I think that's how I created this post that I worked with this brand, and I posted it on my Instagram, and I just think it's a good and nice way to you know, turn something that looks rather ordinary and just, try to like make it look more fun, more interesting, less serious, and just have fun. And I think people appreciate that when they see that. So I hope you find this video useful. If you did, please make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be sharing more of this kind of videos that I believe will be very helpful to anyone out there who is trying to learn how to create more content or just find new ways to repurpose what you already have, because I think that's one of the biggest things right now. It's recreating and repurposing. It's not all about the new stuff. Now we're more creative, we're thinking differently from how we've always thought. We don't always have to spend the money. We can always be creative and just, make things work. So I hope you found this helpful. I'd like to know what you think. Leave a comment below. If you have any kind of videos that you would like to request for me to make, I'm totally open and I would like to know. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you soon.